Funding provided by Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
The Pella Rolscreen Foundation is a proud supporter of Iowa PBS. Pella Windows and Doors strives to better our communities and build a better tomorrow.
And by Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.
Of our free statewide coverage of softball comes your way from Rogers Sports Complex along Ewayne Cooley Boulevard. It's the 2023 State Softball Championships Class 2A from Harlan Rogers Park in Webster County and Fort Dodge. Number 1, Iowa City Regina, and number 2, Van Meter, the Bulldogs. 1 versus 2 in this 2A championship. Hello, everybody. Along with Laura Leonard, I'm Paul Yeager. Glad to have you here as we play the middle game of our day's coverage, Laura. We've seen chalk in this tournament, but there's something about the old sports adage about getting hot at the right time. Right now, the hot team is Van Meter. Why?
Yeah, well, they're 14 games in a row. They're scoring a lot of runs. 9.5 runs over that 14-game winning streak. A lot of big bats in that lineup. They are tough to slow down. But Regina, the defending state champ, they've had some nail biters, not only here in the tournament, but throughout the season. And so Coach Kessler says you have to keep them where their feet are. So keep them in the moment. Hopefully they stay in the moment for this ball game.
The cardiac kid, a reminder, Goonies never say die. That's the Regal way. For Van Meter, their 4th trip to state, they have a lot of hits, as Laura said, almost 400. That's the best in 2A. Maddie Waldorf, we'll talk about her a lot, and also the story of Macy Blumgren just to be here in this tournament. An incredible story. For the defending champs, Iowa City Regina, 11th time at state. Danny Laughlin, we talked about her a lot, and also you'll hear Courtney Kessler. She's great behind the plate and in front of it, too.
Yeah, she really is. She commands the field. She is their leader, and she's the one they look to, so she can do it at the plate. We saw her hit a big home run in that semifinal game.
We'll go up to on-field presentation for Bob Bunting, head coach at Lisbon.
And Conference Coach of the Year 18 times. In his career, he has coached 30 All-State players, including Hall of Fame pitcher Paige Stamp. Bob has been active in the Iowa Girls Coaches Association and was inducted into the organization's Hall of Fame in 2020. In 2018, he was named the National High School Coach of the Year in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 recipient of the IGHSAU Golden Plaque of Distinction in Softball, Bob Bunting of Lisbon.
How many times, Laura? Lisbon here. It has been years. I mean, 50 years of coaching is remarkable. And his players, young and old in the past, always speak so fondly of him. I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped by someone who played softball for him at Lisbon.
Yeah, and it's just a nice honor to be able to give that to him. And yes, the players just love playing for him. And it shows just the tradition that they have had at Lisbon, being able to come a lot here to the state tournament, but just throughout all the seasons, and a great honor for him.
Some of his current players able to be here for the moment, and now it is time to get to our 2A game. We're going to go back upstairs in a moment to Tim Fitzpatrick, and he'll introduce us to both of these teams as part of the pageantry. It might not be basketball, but softball does a pretty good job, too, of telling you who's going on. And we'll have that now, and also the umpires before we have first pitch coming your way very, very soon here from Harlan Rogers Field in Fort Dodge.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and softball fans, and welcome to Rogers Sports Complex in this 2A championship game between the visiting team, the Van Meter Bulldogs, and the home team from Iowa City, the Regina Regals. Now let's meet our teams. First of all, here are your non-starters and assistant coaches for the visitors from Van Meter. Number 1, Ashlyn Small. Number 2, Audrey Barr. Number 4, Bianca Prickett. Number 5, Jilly Wasmansky. Number 7, Ashlyn Long. Number 9, Kennedy Weedman. Number 16, Lily Lindsay. Number 18, Alice Ruggles. And number 22, Kat Shepard. Your assistant coaches, Josh Flaws, Hillary Ullman, and Emily Block. And now, here's your starting lineup for the Van Meter Bulldogs. Leading off, playing shortstop, number 12, Finley Netton. Batting second at third base, number 3, Lauren Wallace. Batting third at second base, number 8, Maddie Waldorf. Cleanup hitter for the Bulldogs, doing the pitching, number 23, Mary Blumgren. Batting fifth in left field, number 6, Ella Reimers. Batting sixth and doing the catching, number 17, Callie Richards. Batting seventh at first base, number 32, Beth Button. Batting eighth, the designated player, number 20, Hallie Corrado. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 11, Destiny Sparks. Your flex player in center field, number 14, Katie Vaught. Head coach for Van Meter, James Flaws. And now, here is your non-starters and assistant coaches for the home team from Regina. Number 1, Natalie Gann. Number 6, Harper Irwin. Number 14, Reese Litton. Number 20, Malia Persley. Number 21, Kylie Devery. Number 27, Maria Monastina. And number 31, Rachel Nugent. Your assistant coaches, Craig Stratton and Tristan Doster. Now here's your starting lineup for the Regina Regals. Leading off, playing right field, number 7, Avery Keese. Batting second in center field, number 11, Denny Laughlin. Batting third and doing the catching, number 8, Courtney Kessler. Cleanup hitter for the Regals, doing the pitching, number 5, Ashley Webb. Batting fifth at shortstop, number 9, Gabby Supel. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 22, Kennedy Connor. Batting seventh in left field, number 12, Morgan Gann. Batting eighth, playing first base, number 16, Jillian Panther. Batting in the ninth position at second base, number 26, Allie Clark. Your flex player at third base, number 42, Lacey Chambliss. Head coach for the Regals, Angela Kessler. Now, ladies and gentlemen, turn your attention to our home plate area. Our umpires for this contest, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, Shannon McWhirter. At third base, Ed Oliver. And calling the balls and strikes, Deidre Moore. All right, who's ready to win a state championship?
The sun is back out, which made the Glitter Girls of Regina really pop in that introduction, I gotta tell you. Here's a look at the Regals lineup. Gann, Laughlin, and Keys left to right in the outfield. Chambliss at third, Supel at short, Clark at second, and Jillian Panther at first. Courtney Kessler is the catcher, and pitching today is Ashley Webb. That's a look at the Regina defense, and now we'll get a chance to see this Van Meter offense, which, as Laura mentioned in the open, can really smack the ball around. And they're going to have to try to do battle against Ashley Webb, who is a move-in from the Clear Creek Amana, played for them last year. This year as a senior, she's had a really good year.
Yeah, she really has, and she'll throw a lot of different things at these hitters. She's got a lot of different pitches, a curve, a rise, a change, a screwball. I asked her about the screwball. Which way does it break? Remind me. And she goes, well, mine breaks opposite of a right-handed pitcher. I'm a lefty, so mine breaks away from the right-handed hitter.
Which extremely hard to hit either way, and we'll see what Van Meter can do. They will send this lineup in. Finley Netton, Lauren Wallace, Maddie Waldorf, and then the pitcher Macy Blumgren, Ella Reimers, Callie Richards, Beth Button, Hallie Corridos, and Destiny Sparks, who is in right. For Van Meter, what are their keys?
Well, they want to mix up pitches. They want to get ahead in the count, show them a variety of looks up and down in the zone, and take advantage of base runners. When they get them on, they have to move them around. We saw that in the last championship game where Williamsburg was able to take advantage of those base runners. And then for the Regals, they want to focus on the moment. I talked about keeping their feet where they are, stay in the moment, don't get ahead, and be patient at the plate. Have quality at bats. Don't be too aggressive. Don't be over anxious.
Van Meter knocked out Missouri Valley 6-1 in the quarters and survived Central Springs 10-9. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. Central Springs, your third place team in 2A, but this is for all the marbles in 2A. And our first pitch is coming your way here at 5:10 on Friday, June 21st, 2023, and it is a strike to Finley Netton.
You talked about Ashley Webb transferring in from Clear Creek Amana. Had the opportunity to step into the lineup and has been a nice addition to this team.
She said her team, last year had been close, but this year the welcoming that especially her catcher, Courtney Kessler, has had to bring her in, as you get a look at Netton there. And it's not easy to move in your senior year, transfer in and gel, but it's worked so far for Webb, and that 0-2 just misses.
Well, and you talk about the adjustment for the pitcher. There's an adjustment for Kessler behind the plate as well. Having to learn a new pitcher, and not just pitches that she throws, learning a left-hander, and then learning personality and temperament and philosophy. And so those things happened throughout the offseason to be able to get with one another on the same wavelength.
What does she like in this situation? What do she like here? Because Courtney Kessler is the one who calls the pitches, has for the last 3 years. She's another coach on that field. Ground ball hit, and that's our game's first hit. Netton sends it in the left. Gann gets it back in, and there's the leadoff hitter on for the Bulldogs.
That one's perfectly placed right between third and short to lead off the game. And as we saw in the last game, table setter right away, get that leadoff hitter on, see if you can do something with it and score first.
Finley Netton, state track champion. She's the leader for this team in stolen bases with 44 coming into the tournament. First pitch, bunt is flashed, pulled back, no go. We'll see what happens now. Coach James Flaws down at third flashes a couple of signs. Webb looks in, agrees with what she's been asked to do, and makes the pitch. Bunt pulled back again.
Now coming into the tournament, Netton had 44 stolen bases, so she can move, she knows how to get a good lead, get a good jump, but you have a really talented catcher behind the plate.
The 2-0. Low, misses. And right now it looks like Webb's just not letting Lauren Wallace put the bunt down, but she's in danger of putting 2 on here.
Yeah, I know you want to try to make that bunter pop it up or not get down or lay down a good bunt, but sometimes you have to let the defense do their job as well, trying to be a little too fine with her pitches, and now a little bit of a jam to start this ball game.
So Wallace goes to first with a walk. Netton goes down to second, and that'll leave Maddie Waldorf. Oh, by the way, the team's leading hitter with 53 entering the tournament and 59 RBIs. First pitch. And now Webb has thrown 5 straight balls.
Well, Waldorf leads all of 2A in RBIs. So she's the player you want up there right now with that runner standing out at second base.
3 for 3 against Central Springs. High pitch again.
Boy, and Netton able to get a huge jump out there at second because the way the defense is rotating, third base, Chambliss coming in, Supple coming over to get third base, nobody's covering second, and Laughlin having to sprint in to try to cover second base. So down there at second, Netton can get a huge jump when they show bunt.
And waiting on decks, another pretty good hitter, and Macy Blumgren. The 2-0 is a strike. And whether Kessler just said, start throwing her strikes, well, maybe she didn't even want to bunt it. She's just showing it to get in your head.
And that could be the strategy, and a good, and that's why Kessler is so important behind the plate, because she knows the field of the game, and she understands the game very well.
Low pitch is bunted, and it's fielded, but in the batter's box. Deidre Moore says foul, and that's about the exact same spot. There was a bunt back in our first game, our Class 3A game, which was game 1. Williamsburg, your state champion in 3A with the win over Assumption. This is Class 2A, so a little smaller class. Van Meter, just west of Waukee in Des Moines. You'll see it on I-80. The 2-2. Hit towards second, and it's going to go off the glove of Clark. In to score is going to be Finley Netton, and the Bulldogs strike first.
I think Clark was definitely thinking, let's turn 2, give up that run, turn 2. Maybe took her eye off of it and then couldn't find it. And they kept the runner moving. Netton rounds the corner and scores.
So Netton's in, and so is Coach Kessler to the circle.
Dead quiet. Hey, you guys are dead quiet on this field. You got to start talking to each other. All right, let's go. Move your feet. Every pitch, you got to move your feet. Here we go. This slips on 3. 1, 2.
Well,
Angela
something
Kessler.
a little secret there. She covered up the mic.
Yep.
She had a little secret message for her team, and so, you know, getting her team motivated and wanted to get her message across. Something between them and the players, the coach and the players, that, you know, is maybe just between them. And she wanted to get that message out there right away. So, and I agree, move your feet on every pitch. Just relax, just relax. We've been here before, that's what you have to do.
Blumgren shows bunt, pulls it back. Macy Blumgren, the senior, she'll be pitching. Once this inning ends, she bats now with 1 in already here. On the season, 455 with 9 homers and 44 RBIs. Bats with nobody out, and that one misses.
You know, Webb just takes a deep breath, and she's struggled a little bit to find the zone here. And again, just let the defense do the work.
And that pitch catches the zone. Right arm raise, strike 1. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out, 1 in already. Runner at second is Lauren Wallace. Maddie Waldorf at first. Macy Blumgren at the plate. There's a look at the infield shift from up above. That pitch is hit in the air towards center. Runners go back to tag. Laughlin makes the grab. Runners cannot advance, too shallow. And Blumgren is the first out of the first.
Got up underneath that one, and easy fly ball to Laughlin out in center, and just could not advance those runners. That's one that you don't want to try to take a chance on. You got a big inning brewing here, so don't run yourself out of an inning, and they didn't.
You see Wallace in there from second, and now she's almost caught. Kessler almost dared to throw.
She's going to uncork with one here pretty soon, I think. If they just get a little bit too far and she can catch them leaning, she's going to pick one of those runners off.
The 1-0 is hit towards third. Stepping on the bag is Chambliss, throwing it across to Panther. The run at third advances, so Waldorf moves to third. Wallace out on the fielder's choice.
Good smart play. Chambliss found the bag right away. Couldn't get enough on that throw, but being aggressive on the base paths, they advance the runners.
So Waldorf goes to third. Reimers will be at second for Callie Richards. Callie's older sister, Bailey, was with the Bulldogs the last time they were in the title game and won it. The 1-0 misses. Bailey now coaching at Ballard and also DMAC, which is where Bailey played her first part of her college career, and then she went to Stephen F. Austin. So let's see what the younger sister remembers from the championship game and can replicate. That pitch is a strike. Callie just a sophomore. Runners at second and third now as Reimers down there at second. Waldorf at third. Swung on and missed. Good pitch.
Got her on that high heat, got her up in the zone, made her chase, evened up the count.
The 2-2. Kessler kind of shifted last minute out into the right-handed batter's box and framed it. Three balls, two strikes. Lifted, not any further than the infield, and Allie Clark makes the catch. Van Meter able to get a run, but they leave a couple of runners there, so what looked like could be big, Regina's able to dodge.
Yeah, it was promising to start for Van Meter, but Regina able to get out of it.
All right, the Van Meter defense, they'll go out with Beth Button at first, Callie Corrados at second, Finley Netton at short, and Lauren Wallace is at third. The outfield is Reimers, Vaught, and Sparks, with Callie Richards behind the plate and Macy Blumgren in the circle. And that is your Van Meter defense. Here's a look at Van Meter's pitcher, Macy Blumgren. What do you see in her, Laura?
Well, she will mix a lot of pitches. She's got a good curveball, a good changeup, but she'll spin it a lot. So we may see a lot of ground balls out of her. She likes to keep it down in the zone.
She's going to have a tall task against this offensive lineup for Regina. Avery Keys, Danny Laughlin, Courtney Kessler, a tough 1-2-3. Ashley Webb, Gabby Supple, then Kennedy Connor, Morgan Gann, Jillian Panther, followed by Allie Clark. Here in this first inning, that's the Regina's Regals, who are 29-8 on the season. And a lot of games have been close for them, Laura. They struggled against Cardinal. They were down in a regional semifinal, 2-0, and then came back to win 3-2. They had a kind of a close game against Northeast. They had to go to 8 innings to win their quarterfinal, and then very little dramatic in that I-35 13-1 win.
Yeah, if I remember right, last year, kind of the same thing. They kind of were the come-from-behind team, the cardiac kids, and won a lot of games and last at bats, so that's kind of carried over into this season.
A lot of this lineup is back for Regina, who we saw on the last day of the 2022 season. One of those players, Avery Keys, she's a slapper from that left side. Infield is pulled in on the left side as Wallace in there at third. Netton kind of close in at second. And now Corrados has stepped in. Button plays at a regular depth. Swing and a miss by Keys.
No, Keys has the speed, and she has the ability to handle the bat. Will read the defense. She can slap it. She can hit away.
1-2 popped in the air. Looks like left field's Ella Reimers is going to call off Vaught. And that's a tough one to get because it's only the outfield because your shortstop had pulled way in for the slap.
Yeah, and it was high enough that allowed Reimers to be able to come in and camp underneath that one. But you're right, there's a little bit more distance and a lot of ground you have to cover as an outfielder.
There is our look from the center field camera, which you might say, first pitch from Blumgren is off the plate. A little higher than before, as batting is Danny Laughlin, the senior, a 6'12" hitter. 6'12", Laura. That is crazy talk right there.
That speaks volumes. That tells you the eye at the plate went after a pitch up in the zone on that one.
Camping underneath it was Corrados. She had a lot of time to get there, and there's 2 away. Courtney Kessler will bat with nobody on, which is about the next best thing to not having to pitch to her. Courtney Kessler, another great bat. Look at that, 537 average, 52 RBIs.
Yeah, but think about that 1, 2, 3 start for Regina and the averages that those 3 hitters have, especially at the 2 and 3 hole. That's pretty daunting, a pretty daunting task for any team to have to face with those kinds of hitters in the lineup.
The 1-0 from Blumgren catches the plate. Kessler, the team leader in hits, RBIs, and doubles. What's a good doubles hitter tell you?
They have good swing, a good level swing. They can find the gaps. They know how to attack the zone. They don't ever go after bad pitches, and they put it into play. Got the pop, they have the power, but they can also drop it in spots.
Popped up, out of play. Back there on the crowd goes, oh, was caught by the net right in front of the press box, which is a look from one of our new camera angles this year, which is right in front of the box. That's the one that, you'll see here in a moment when action happens, allows us to zoom in and follow that a little better. So if you were trying to get that seat in front of the press box and our camera's in its way, Kessler goes down on strikes. First strikeout for Blumgren, 3rd out of the inning. So Van Meter will take a 1-0 lead as we go into the second. The girls in blue.
Great at bat, be very patient, okay? Very patient. Don't let up. Let's go, Dogs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, so that's James Flaws in his 10th season from Carlisle. His 10th year at Van Meter, and he coached 2 years before that, Storm Lake of St. Mary's. As the Bulldogs go into the district, he has seen a lot of softball over his years. His dad, Jim, the head coach at Carlisle, and this is the way the bracket is. So between the Flaws, they saw a lot of action this week. In 2A, Regina beat Northeast, which is from the eastern part of the state. I-35, which is south of Des Moines, along Interstate 35, beat Lisbon. Van Meter over Missouri Valley, and Central Springs from north central Iowa beat West Monona from western Iowa. Then Van Meter, in a great game, advanced, and Regina had little trouble with I-35. Van Meter was up 10-3, and then Central Springs scored 6 in the 6th, and the winning run, or the go-ahead run, was I think at 3rd with less than 2 out. Is that right?
I think that's right, yeah.
And so Central Springs had their chances, but Coach Flaws went into the circle and had a few words.
Yeah, when they got it close and got it to within that 1 run, he went in and they had a little huddle in the circle, and he said, we're not going to lose it here. And he said, Macy Blomgren kind of took over and said, we're going to win it right now. And everybody kind of perked up and said, all right, we're going to do it. And they were able to get out of it and win that ball game.
That gets your attention, right, when the senior speaks?
It does, and they respect her and know what she's been through throughout her career and has come back to perform at this level. And when she steps up and speaks, everybody listens.
First pitch strike from Webb. Second pitch swing and miss from Beth Button. Little stat from last night, if you watch the 5A Centennial Pleasant Valley game, that I want to throw as I see another swing and miss, makes me think of it. There was only one swing and miss in that 5A game last night. Now, granted, it only went 5 innings, and it was in the very first inning. Otherwise, it was either a called strike or put in play, fair or foul. And it just, that is, I don't think I've ever heard that in a game.
No.
The abilities of these players and all of this extra practice that they do is paying off to be such good hitters.
Yeah, good hitters, and the pitchers as well. They're around the zone. So these hitters have zeroed in on it. They're fouling them off. They're not swinging through pitches, and they're putting it in play. So it best of both sides of it.
The 2-2 to Beth Button is off the plate. It'll push the count full. Button, the senior, playing the hot first base. Off speed, right up the middle, back to Webb. Gloves it, throws on the run to Panther, one away.
Nice play by Webb to get Button in first for out number 1.
Good reaction in the circle by Webb, ready to field that one as it came right back to her. And it was a good at bat by Button. She fouled off a couple, stood in there, battled, got the count full. But Webb was able to win out.
First pitch to Haley Corrados is a called strike. 250 hitter, 10 RBIs.
You know, I had a really good look at that pitch, and you could see the logo on the ball, the Girls Union logo on, and it was just spinning. It was just, I mean, you could see the seam spinning on that, so she'll spin it a lot to get the movement on those pitches. She'll get that grip, and you could see the logo, but it was right there, and the seams were just spinning top to bottom.
Webb up 1-2. Spins and fires high, same pitch as before. Webb gonna go play collegiately at Ferris State. And you ask, where is Ferris State? Big Rapids, Michigan. So the campus is in a beautiful part of the state. Swing and a miss. Corrados down on strikes. First strikeout of the game for Webb.
Yeah, she said one of the reasons that she chose Ferris State was to get a look at that pitch up, a little rise ball. Coaches there have some experience being in the state of Iowa. Coach Jake Schumann is the head coach there at Ferris State, and he was an assistant at the University of Iowa for a couple years, and then head softball coach at Davenport West for a little bit. So has some Iowa ties, and that appealed to Ashley Webb.
The 1-0 coming to Destiny Sparks is a called strike. Sparks with those sleeves rolled on the left and right side. Blue and white helmet and those great cursive font Van Meter with the white piping jersey. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And Webb now seems to have found a little groove in her pitching.
Maybe shaking some things off, shaking a few nerves off. Now kind of starting to settle in. You can see just her body language just relaxed a little bit more.
That ball is smacked to left center, right on cue. Laughlin skids over to get that one. And Sparks on with a 2-out hit. It was a good hit, good piece of hitting here. Watch this one.
Great adjustment at the plate. You could see she leveled it off. Didn't take a big uppercut, but leveled off the swing and dumped it in the outfield.
That'll flip the order. Finley Netton, who started off the game with the single to left. As Sparks bends over there, gets into the track position, ready to run. Netton flashed bunt. Because why not with 2 outs, right?
give them something to think about. I mean, make the defense be on their toes, make them move around a little bit.
You've already had this team commit 2 errors. Why not 3 if you're Van Meter, if that's your thinking? Swing and a miss to the sophomore.
There's a little something extra behind that pitch. I think Webb put everything she had into that pitch. Kind of fell off the rubber to the first base side of the circle.
The 0-2 misses. Running down to second and stealing is Destiny Sparks.
A little bit of a delayed reaction from Kessler. Threw from her knees, and you could see the strength in her arm.
Oh.
As she got it down there. It was right on the money, but it's just a little late.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. We'll pause here for a moment to remember a friend of Iowa PBS and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union.
And that's going to put Lisa Brinkmeyer to the free throw line. She's a 70% free throw shooter. Averages 41 points a ball game.
Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Administrator Lisa Brinkmeyer lost her battle with brain cancer in June, a battle she had been fighting for more than a year. In high school, the Hubbard Radcliffe grad excelled in volleyball, golf, and softball. But it was basketball where she is remembered most for winning the final 6-on-6 state championship in 1993.
85-66, the final score. Hubbard Radcliffe, your 6-on-6 champion.
Lisa knew firsthand what it meant to be an Iowa girl.
Whether you played a lot or didn't play a lot, you were still an Iowa girl. You still knew what it was like to be involved in athletics. And as I grew older and made it to state, the state basketball tournament, I realized a lot more what the Iowa girl was. I mean, with the exception of my wedding, that was one of the first times I felt like a princess, one of the few times in my life. And that is because the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union does that. And Wayne Cooley, he put the Iowa girl on the pedestal. And I thought I realized how important it was and unique it was until I went to college and I played basketball with a lot of players from around the country, different states. And I would talk about my experience and they would just kind of look at me funny like I was crazy because they weren't treated the same way. Of course, it was always neat to make it to state wherever you go, but it was just different. They weren't, celebrities because of what they'd done. They were just another basketball player. Where in Iowa, an Iowa girl stands out, and they made sure that.
Brink, as she was known, went on to play and coach at Drake University and eventually landed her position at the IGHSAU. Lisa's contributions to girls sports in Iowa, both on and off the court, is what made her the embodiment of the Iowa girl.
Back to live action as you see Ella Reimers with the catch in left field as Ashley Webb is retired for the first out of the second. And we'll get a chance to see that play here in this at-bat as Webb just kind of got under that one and Reimers able to make the catch.
She couldn't get a full swing on that one. She got a good launch angle on it, just couldn't get enough behind it.
Gabby Supel pulls the bat back and fouls it into the net. Some of the pictures in going through for that tribute to Lisa were here at Fort Dodge when she was playing state softball. Huge thank you to her family for helping us get a lot of those images.
Her mom, Lynn Brinkmeyer, I'm telling you what, she has a camera with her everywhere she goes and documented a lot of Lisa's events and even up through when we had alumni events at Drake. Her mom was there with the camera and her husband, Ted, helped us out as well to get some of those pictures so you guys could see a wonderful tribute to Lisa. And everybody knows that there was people wore the Brinks Bench t-shirts to kind of support Lisa and her family. And I know that all of us will always and forever be on Brinks Bench.
The 1-2 by Supel is hit well to center, over the head of Vaught, quickly back into second. The cutoff not in time on the relay throw, and it's a one-out double for Gabby Supple. Look at her spank this one.
Boy, she really did, and you can see Vaught just said, okay, it's going to hit the fence. I'm going to play it off the fence, and she got it in a hurry. Supple had to hurry rounding first base to get in there safely, but maybe the spark that Regina needs.
Supple scored the winning run against Northeast back in the quarterfinal round, and then against Van Meter, she gets the hit and will be at second base. You see her at the bottom of your screen. First pitch to Kennedy Connor, who was the hero in that game for being the hitter as she knocked in Supple there in the bottom of the 8th against Northeast. Connor, I remember vividly from last year having conversations with her as a freshman. That pitch misses. And now as a sophomore, she's just blossomed to even more of a personality. You know how, Laura, I think you and I have discussed this over time, how there are just certain girls that stand out when you have conversations with them. To me, Kennedy Connor is one of them. Just a genuineness, love of the game just exudes from her.
Yeah, and all these players that we have talked to throughout the week, I have been so impressed with how they've handled the questions that we've thrown at them and how they've handled themselves in front of the TV cameras that are there to get the interviews and the reporters that are there to get. They handle themselves so well, and I think that goes back to part of being an Iowa girl, understanding what you have to do when you get to the state tournament. You may be asked to step up in front of a bunch of reporters asking a lot of questions, and they know what to do and how to handle it.
Connor draws the walk. It is part of the experience to be on free statewide television. Around the world on the web, you can watch any of these games here of the championship round. The earlier rounds were also free on the Girls Athletic Union YouTube page, so if you want to go back and watch any of those, they're available. That pitch is popped up on a bunt. Callie Richards throws it back to the pitcher with a zing and some enthusiasm as she gets the second out on this tough play.
Dropped the head of the bat, popped it up, and Richards finds it right away, gets rid of the mask, and gets underneath that.
Morgan Gann is out on the pop-up. Jillian Panther is left to keep this inning going. First pitch, swung on and missed. Great camera work right there. Kent was all over it on the dugout. This crew, I'll tell you what, they are out they're under the shade, and this is actually tolerable 80-degree weather. Swing and a miss by Panther, and they just give you these great images out in center that you're seeing right now, or up above, down below, crew hustling around inside the truck, who also got to know Lisa Brinkmeyer over the years, as she was in a lot of our production meetings, kind of the liaison between the union and us, trying to make sure we coordinated a lot of things. The 0-2 to Panther is fouled right back above where you and I are sitting, Laura, underneath the stands.
Well, you know what? Not a better person than Lisa Brinkmeyer to kind of corral all of us together and get us all in one spot and go through what we need to go through and keep everybody on time, and just always calm, cool, and collected, and might have been one of the funniest people I've ever met. She could take a really tight moment and lighten it up very quickly.
The senior Panther here, down 1-2. Hits it towards short. Netton over to Button. Inning over. So a couple of runners left on base. That makes 2 for Regina, but they at least get on base that inning. Can't do anything more, as we have played 2 full innings, and it's 1-0 Van Meter. As you take a look at our pitcher, Ashley Webb, and we had a chance to look at her in slow motion.
Well, we talked about when we spoke with her and what she throws, and being a left-hander, things are going to break differently out of her hand when you're a right-handed hitter, and you're going to have to adjust to that when you get up to the plate. But you could see how and what I've talked about, the spin that we can see when the pitch is coming in. She does spin it a lot.
Which to me gets back to what you said about the brilliance of Courtney Kessler's play of having to learn a personality but learn the physical actions. And it happens more in baseball, the whole left-right thing, but it also is in softball too, because you just don't have that many left-handed pitchers.
There aren't that many left-handed pitchers, and so when you see one, you have to make that quick adjustment and just look for a different location, a release point. Instead of looking on the right side, you got to look left. It's going to break differently, and for a catcher, that's different as well. And so the work that these two have put in the off-season was tremendous. They were able to work well and figure each other out and get on the same page and get themselves to a state championship.
First pitch to Lauren Wallace is a strike, and I would be remiss if I didn't say Courtney Kessler was also fun to talk to. Just some girls stick out, and Kessler, again, just the composure she has to answer those questions. And
well, they're all fun to talk to.
They are.
Because they're all excited, they're all hyped up, and we get some interesting answers and interesting stories that we can tell to all the viewers.
You're not going to put that on TV. Well, not right now, but I will eventually. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. The 0-2 to Lauren Wallace is hit in the air, foul, and out of play.
You know, you asked Ashley Webb about the pink shirt, and she said, well, I didn't get one last year. And I transferred from Clear Creek, Amana, and so yes, I really would like to get that pink shirt. And she said, they're state shirts for the fans and the team. They say back to back to back, and she says, well, I'm just back, or I'm just here. I'm not back to back to back, so I just want a pink t-shirt.
Strikeout of Wallace, third of the game for Webb.
That rise ball is working for her today. That just, boom, zipped up the ladder. Those are tough to catch up to as a hitter.
That'll make way for Maddie Waldorf. First pitch ball. Waldorf reached on an error, one of two errors that inning that Regina committed to kind of open the door. Little change up. Misses. The margin for error in softball, the size of the diamond just accentuates any mistake. And that pitch misses.
Yeah, Webb's going to take a second, maybe walk around the circle. She thought she had a strike call, and now she just needs to collect her thoughts again and come back strong.
The 3-0. Misses as well. Kessler calls for time and goes out to talk to Webb. And I'm sure Kessler will have a conversation to ask kind of where are those missing.
And I think, you know, maybe both of them just wanted to vent a little bit to one another and just say, all right, let's forget about that one. Put it in the back seat. Let's don't think about it. And let's go after this next hitter.
Which is the pitcher, Macy Blumgren. That's a strike. Senior flied out to center, back in the first. So she's 0 for 1 today.
Now you're good. If you like it, drive it, okay? I might steal it as one of these points, okay? Just there, just stay on top of it, all right? Stay back and stay back, okay? Not this time, we'll see.
Yeah, I kind of, that seems like good advice right there.
Well, let's see what she does here. See if she takes that advice and can handle this pitch.
The 0-1. Hit in the air, but out of play again. down the first base side. Blumgren, 43 RBIs on the season. As a hitter, she has, you know, injury this year has kind of kept some of that development. It's been in her back. But she's been able to do a lot for this team to get them to where they are right now.
She's worked really hard to come back from that injury in her back. Had surgery back on Halloween. And so has rehabbed and worked hard and had a reoccurrence of that back injury and said, I'm not missing this last season. And wore a back brace, went to physical therapy, was able to work her way through it. They kind of managed her pitch count for most of the season, knowing they would want her when they got to state.
The 2-2. Hit in the air, foul again. Blumgren's a 5-year starter, career home runs leader. Gonna head to DMAC. Vocal leader, both pitching and hitting against Central Spring. She was 2 of 2 with 3 RBIs, a double and a home run. Just trying to find a single to move the line. Puts it in play, but it'll be foul. Chambliss scoops it up, but it was in foul territory at the time. Webb looks in, bent over at the waist, fires, fouled straight back.
Getting some good cuts, and you can see Coach Flaw saying, keep it, we want to be down in the zone. Don't go after those pitches up.
Pitch number 8 of the at-bat comes your way right now. Hit down the first base line and into right field for a base hit. Trying to go to third and getting there. Now the quick throw to second. They might get her if the tag said she's safe. So Waldorf goes into third, Blumgren into second, advancing on the throw. So now Van Meter in business. Great piece of hitting to go the other way.
What a shot into right field. Get it into the middle of the diamond. Try to get the out over there at third. And take a look here and see very close over there at second.
We're going to have a courtesy runner, and I think we're about to have a conference. Coach Angela Kessler having words with the home plate umpire, Deidre Moore. As the umpiring crew is going to have a conference.
Pushing her arms away from her
Getting
because
her
she was
arms
hitting
away
her a
from
little hard with her tag.
With her tag. I got it.
After
I'll go ahead.
the tag was over, she came back and did it again.
And
she was doing a little, I talked to him, yeah.
Okay, thank
Told them
you.
both to
All
calm
right.
down.
I'll go ahead and tell Coach. Thank you.
So it was on the tag at second is what we're hearing.
I think after the tag, they came back and they...
Tag off of her chest there. Not a swing. Well, he talked to both of them. We'll keep eyes on for sportsmanship.
I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Coach. Of course. Thank you, Coach.
A little bit of a sportsmanship issue
Yes,
here.
yeah. They were concerned that there might have been some pushback with the hard tag and went back and tagged again. And the umpire talked to both of them. And you're right, it was sportsmanship. Let's just calm it down. We know it's intense out here. We know what's at stake. Let's just calm things down. So good job by everybody all the way around.
Ella Reimers bats. Reached on a fielder's choice. Back in the first.
So you got the infield drawn in now. They're going to have to look to hold that runner. They were looking to squeeze.
Throw down to third, back in to get Waldorf, who's back on the base, calls time and gets it. Runner's already at second, so you're not really you're only risking throwing it into left field and allowing the run to score that way. but I'm pretty sure that Kessler has all the confidence in the world in Lacey Chambliss at third to catch anything she throws.
Yeah. And Waldorf put the brakes on very quickly when she saw the bunt was not going to get down.
See if they bring it on again here with a ball and a strike. They have the bunt on. It's popped up into the net. Foul. So possible opportunity missed here, but we'll see how willing Coach Flaws wants to be in a reputation of a riverboat gambler.
Well, and that's that bunt game coming into play. We talked a little bit about it in the first ball game. We saw those two teams in the championship game not laid down a bunt. They were the teams that laid down bunts all tournament long. But here in this ball game, kind of what we thought we'd see in the first game, trying to squeeze a run home. Didn't get it done, couldn't execute, but still have the opportunity to swing away and knock in 2 more runs.
Reimers fouls it away, and we'll do it again.
Reimers is the captain of this team, an opportunity for her to step up and cushion this lead for them.
The pitch from Webb. Bunted at, offered, and strike 3. Again, the throw back down to third. Waldorf stumbles the throw home, gets her by a country mile. Double play, strike out, throw him out. Just a little unconventional. Van Meter leaves one, maybe a little more in this inning as the bunt is missed. She was way down the line. I think even if she doesn't fall, she doesn't make it.
No, and there's the definition of the riverboat gambler. 2 strikes trying to lay down the bunt there, and runner is going. So well, take a chance, and they got thrown out, got doubled off.
Macy Blumgren will now go back into the circle as her team not able to score the run, but let's see her in slow-mo.
Good leg drive, good arm motion. She flips that ball, gets good location, good movement on her pitches, and chatted a little bit about her injury. She only coming into the tournament had only 9 appearances in the circle, and so the other night, Tuesday and Wednesday, was the first time all season she pitched back-to-back. And so they were happy to have that day off yesterday to get her a little rest for that back, but said the pain has subsided in June, mid-June. The pain started to subside. She hasn't had much pain since then. They don't know why, they don't know how. I think it's a little bit of a miracle that she is not dealing with as much pain as she had been coming into the season, and feeling pretty good right now.
And gives Van Meter some confidence, but you question the durability and the longevity to see how long Blumgren can last as that pitch misses. The other pitcher who has a lot of innings is Maddie Waldorf and Bianca Prickett. So there's been a couple of, because Blumgren coming into the tournament only had 38 innings pitched. So that pitch is sky-high foul back towards the press box behind home. Allie Clark leading things off here for Regina. Flashes bunt, gets it down, but it's foul.
Sometimes as a hitter, you're just trying to jumpstart your team. The number 9 hitter trying to figure out a way to get on. You take a look at the corners, see where they're playing. They're playing back. Maybe it is a good time to try to lay down that bunt and surprise the defense.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Blumgren misses. And Allie Clark gets another chance to hit. Swings and misses. Strike 3. That's the second strikeout of the game for Macy Blumgren as Clark heads back into the dugout after this pitch.
It's an aggressive hitter going after a pitch out of the zone. That rise ball is really jumping for Blomgren.
Avery Keys bats from the left side. Pitch gets away from Richards back to the backstop. A little help from Laughlin in the on-deck circle.
Just watching Blomgren, she looked over to the dugout and she gave the no more. Don't want that. Don't want to throw that pitch. I don't think it's working for her. She doesn't have a good feel of it. And I think that was her little signal to the coaches, let's don't call that pitch. I don't have the touch on that one for this game.
So hopefully they saw that in the dugout when they're calling those pitches. Otherwise, we're going to see a whole lot of head shaking going on. The 1-1 misses. Keys leads the team in 105 at-bats. And the reason I was looking at at-bats for these teams is a matter of just how prolific your offense is or how often you're pitched to. That's punched into left center. It gets by the left fielder, by Reimers, goes all the way to the fence. And in with a stand-up double is Avery Keys with one away here in the third.
Just a nice, easy swing, able to dump it into the outfield, splits the two defenders. Good backup by Vaught to get to it so quickly, but Keys right there, standing on second base, got there in a hurry.
So Danny Laughlin will step in. First pitch misses. They throw aggressively at Blomgren, kind of like if she doesn't want to cut it off, we'll throw it to second.
Laughlin is that dangerous hitter because she can do so many things at the plate. Hard slap, soft slap, swing away.
Do you like a player to have all those attributes?
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a golfer with lots of clubs in their bag.
That she can handle the bat so well and read the defense and to make that split-second decision on how to do it and what to do. If she sees the corners crashing in, she may try to punch it through and maybe that hard slap. And if they stay back, she may just drop it down, use her speed to get to first. But she also has some power in her bat as well that she can swing away.
Laughlin will head to Texas State after the season, which is in San Marcos. Wants to be a child psychiatrist. The 2-2 pitch is fouled and out of play to the left side.
She had a good semifinal, was perfect, 4 for 4 at the plate.
Blomgren winds and fires, slapped. Oh, Blomgren fakes to third. She's not going to get the runner at first. No way, no how. And now Laughlin's just going to jog down to second. They're going to get a run down as they look. They're going to have to commit at some point. They throw home, not in time. Safe everywhere. Normally a team does not bite on that play to get in the rundown between first and second. But that time, Laughlin played it to perfection, allowing the Regals to tie it up. Jim Flaw's on his way to the mound.
Always take the out, got it? Right, get out, always take the out right here, okay? This is the most important batter right now, this batter. Okay, hey, you're doing a hell of a job throwing strikes, keep it up, okay? Yep, just keep working. You just gotta keep doing it. You can't we can only control what we control it now, okay? We gotta be able to make plays faster. Don't give up a run at third, okay? Ready for this girl to fake bunt steal here possibly, so just be active and ready to move. But get the out right here if you get a chance, okay? Let's go. Outfield's hitting cuts, okay? Go cut to the 4. Dogs on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Let's see this one again because so Laughlin fielded, easily could have gotten the out at first, but she waited. And then Laughlin, you see that play all the time, kind of the jog down, and Blomgren just throws it to second. At worst, you want to run Laughlin back to first. By that time, Keys had come around to score.
Well, and the hard part about that, too, is Button at first base was running away from the play. So she's running towards second base. She has to stop and pivot and throw, as opposed to pushing her back, like you said, to first base. You have a better angle to throw home if the runner breaks. But since she was running away towards second base, that is a tough throw because you're having to throw across your body, making that stop, pivot, and try to make an accurate throw. So Regina did everything that they needed to do to push that run across.
Laughlin at second, Courtney Kessler at the plate. Pitches low, bounces, and Laughlin is going to scoot on down to third. So now, another run stands at third. Opportunity and a dangerous hitter here in Kessler.
You know, just going back to that play where Laughlin got caught in that rundown, you could see Richards, she was telling the infield, no, let's hold it, let's hold it. She was having her hands up.
Kessler rips that one into left for an RBI. And the Regals take their first lead of the game, 2-1 on the RBI single. Great piece of hitting right here.
Yeah, hit it hard, hit it on the screws, right out to left field to knock in that run. And it seems like Kessler always comes through with a big hit.
Laughlin scores. 2-1. Kessler stands at first. Now batting the pitcher, Ashley Webb. Swings at the first offering, back into the screen. Webb says the emotions can sometimes get the best of her, and she will show her emotion. Fouls another one back. If she's able to put that one into the field and move this runner, I would imagine we'll see someone leave her feet and jump into the air.
Yeah, she, watching that quarterfinal game where they had to come from behind and win in extras, she really showed her emotion in the circle as she was getting outs, getting strikeouts. You could see that emotion bubble to the top.
This game can bring emotion.
Especially at this point in time. in this place, championship game, getting to Fort Dodge. It is what a lot of these young ladies have really worked for.
Hit in the air, and it lands right in front of Reimers. Webb, look at her go.
You always like to have that one or two players in the dugout that get everybody fired up.
Coming in to run is going to be Harper Irwin, the courtesy. It is a kid's game, and man, you can have fun like a kid, and that's what you should do. If you're going to play all these games, 40-some a season,
right
in the middle of your summer, give up your summer to play. Although this year the season started in mid-May for games, mid to late May. First game for Van Meter was the 23rd, 22nd for Iowa City Regina. Hit in the air, playable for Vaught. Makes the catch, throws it back in, and there's 2 outs. So Gabby Supel is out on the flyout. The inning started with a strikeout of Allie Clark, but since then it's been a double, a single, a single, a single. 4 straight hits to make way for Kennedy Connor. First pitch is a strike.
And if you're Van Meter, you're thinking, all right, let's just get out of this now. We gave up those 2 runs, but our bats have been making good contact. We just need to get back to the plate and get that run back that we gave up.
Do you get the sense Regina feels confident in their swings now?
They look a little more confident stepping to the plate. I mean, they are a little more relaxed. I think those first time through the order, they certainly were a little bit tighter. Swings weren't as sure, and now they're a little bit more loose, free swinging, making good contact.
Well, Regina and Van Meter played last year in the 2A quarterfinal with Regina winning 6-5, where they would have seen Macy Blumgren. But Van Meter did not see the same pitcher, as it was a senior last year, Emma Neibauer for Regina. So these teams somewhat familiar. They also played in 2016 in the 2A championship. Van Meter won that one. Or as we like to say, a lifetime ago in 2016.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it?
Oh.
You do such a good job of remembering all these games, and I'm like, when? Where?
Oh, no.
What?
No. It's not me. It's the person sitting to our left, Chris Andringa, our stats. That guy remembers all of this and hands me the note for me to say.
Yeah, the best over there.
Could not do it without him. As I was reading down a couple of his other notes here, a couple of them I'm going to save. There he is. Oh, he's not going to like that. He didn't even want to be in our picture on Twitter before the game. I can only imagine. I hope that goes all over Twitter, Chris. I really do. The 0-2. Hit in the left. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to score. Now the run, it's going to go all the way to the wall. Although right before it gets there, Vaught cuts it off. Kessler scores. It's now 3-1, Regina.
If that ball doesn't get underneath the glove of Reimers, that run probably doesn't score. Connor doing a good job of punching that out to left field, just sneaks under the glove of Reimers, and they're able to send Kessler home.
Connor goes to second. So they give a hit and an error on that. The old thumbs up, thumbs down hand sign. I had given that earlier today because I thought there was another play in the first that it was maybe going to be. They ruled that a double. There was a play out into the outfield, but that then is the first run or first error of the game for Van Meter. And it comes at a crucial point in this game. As Harper Irwin, who's running for Ashley Webb, is at third. Kennedy Connor at second, who just had the RBI.
A good job by Richards to block that ball and keep it in front. Didn't let it sneak by her.
Morgan Gann, the 2-0 to her is a strike. Gann also with those great, I guess I didn't even notice the whole team has pink shoestrings. We saw it in a camera shot there a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, there you go. Kent zipped down on that one. Nice work.
You know, I've noticed a lot of the girls have added to their uniforms the pink accent. Gabby Supel came up, she had the pink sleeve on. In the game before, Elle Ridgway had pink batting gloves. And so they're getting the pink theme that goes along with the girls' union, the Iowa girl being part of this state tournament.
Swing and a miss by Morgan Gann to move the count full. I think you saw in that last shot of the dugout, there was you have to look really closely. There was a tag, a bag tag that you get each time you qualify. That one's fouled away. And you darn well know girls keep those on their backpacks for whatever sport it is. Whether you've come in basketball or volleyball, you have a different tag for each sport. And the girls' union logo is on many, many bags. And those tags are hanging on a lot of bulletin boards across the state. The 3-2. Gann lines it again. Another base hit to left. Gets the throw quickly back in, but not before Harper Irwin scores. Connor to third on another hit for the Regals.
And they are hitting the ball now with authority and just under the glove of Netton. Able to knock in one more run. And now runners at the corners.
6 of the last 7 Regals have reached base with hits. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs. So Morgan Gann to first, Connor at third, and it's up to Jillian Panther now. She is the 9th Regina player to bat in this 3rd inning.
Just wanted to make sure how they were going to handle that. They kept looking in the dugout how they're going to handle this 1st and 3rd situation. Want to make sure everybody knows exactly which play is going to be on here with runners at the corners.
That pitch is in there in the strike zone to Panther. She had a double against Northeast. Kind of has a knack for getting a hit at the right time. That pitch is low. The appeal on the offer, no go. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the 3rd. Panther lifts it to left, coming in, not making the grab. As it gets by Reimers, the throw to 3rd, not in time. Panther motors into 2nd and comes through with another ball in play, scoring another teammate.
Reimers playing deep, and this ball gets down just under her glove. Couldn't reach out and grab that one. And now the Regals finding all the right spots and dropping those hits.
Okay. Yeah. So, bring her up. Let's go. Bring her up to that spot. Let's go. Hey, right here, we gotta dig in right now. Get tough. Okay, we can't let any more runs cross. Got it. Dogs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
I just want to get out of this inning. That's exactly what he was talking about. Nothing else drops. Let's get out of it. No more damage.
Well, if we go back to the hot box play, maybe an out there.
Yep.
Maybe 2. Doubtful to get 2 on that. But there's 1 out. You had an error. So just little things all adding up. And Regina finding, I mean, you just said it, Laura. It just went under Reimer's gloves as she was coming in. Because frankly, she has to play that deep because Regina can hit the ball extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, they provide the power from their end, but Blomgren provides the power from her end as well. And so when you hit it on the sweet spot, it's going to fly.
Clark looks at a strike. All that momentum swinging over to Regina right now. They're up 5-1, have scored all 5 runs in this game. Chopper on the infield, gloved at 3rd, across, not in time. Wallace cut it off, and she probably was the right one to make that, because I don't think if it goes to net, and there's no way she makes that throw because it would have been another second. This was close, but extremely tough.
Really tough play, and you're right, she's the right one to pick that up, but I think it was hit just slow enough. She made a good, strong throw, but it was just, again, in the right spot against this defense.
11th Regal to bat here in the 3rd, and it's the top of the order. And Callie Richards goes out to call the 1st and 3rd play. Looks like they're in at least at 3rd. Wallace in front of the bag for the slapper Keys, who had a double in her last at bat earlier this inning. Six runs on 7 hits this inning for Regina.
Keys fouls it back and off to the left.
She had a double the last time she was at the plate, came around and scored. So they are in one of those hitting cycles where everybody's feeling it. And the next hitter up hits it just as hard as the last one did.
The pitch to Keys just misses. Two balls and a strike, 2 out. Bottom of the third. Again, fouled back into the net.
Just getting a piece of those pitches on the outer half of the plate to stay alive. We just lost the scoreboard lights out there.
So it's 6-1. You can see it on your screen. We don't get to see a board in the building. Chopper back to the pitcher. Blumgren throws to first to get out of this inning, but man, it was a big one for Regina. Let's see what Coach Floss can say after that.
She's not throwing anything else. It's all fastballs. Get your bat on the top of the ball. Put something through. We are not. This game is not over. Let's go. Let's come on.
Girls, one pitch at a time, okay? We're letting the motions get to it. One pitch at a time. Stay one pitch at a time. Make her come to your pitch that you want, okay? We're chasing the rise ball. If you start laying off that rise ball, you're getting a lot of good pitches to hit, okay? Be very patient. Hit the pitch you want. Let's go. Dogs on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dogs. Come on, Blue. Let's go.
Hey, you gotta be up on that.
Bulldogs have in a tough spot here, but let's remember, they have not gone quietly in any inning they've batted. You know, they scored in the first, left a runner on in the second, kind of ran out of the inning in the third. Third was just an inning I think they're just gonna wipe away from their memories. So it'll be up to Richards, Button, and Corrados for Regina. You know, we just listened in there to Coach Floss and had a chance to talk to his dad a couple of days ago, and he was sitting there in his blue, and I said, did you get a discount on that blue? Because, you know, he wears the Carlisle red and yellow, and he just kind of laughed. And I said, you get nervous as a dad? Oh, no. Everybody in his party kind of stopped, looked at him, and said, you want to answer that one again? Of course he gets nervous.
Well, it goes back to, you know, talking about, are the parents nervous for their kids that are playing on this field? Well, sure, they are. And the parents are nervous for sons and daughters that are out there coaching because they're all invested in this. And their family has been invested. And I asked them about the family tree, and I got confused. I got confused. There's a lot of flaws that are coaching that brothers, cousins, twin brothers that had a hand in a lot of girls' softball athletic careers.
The 1-0 to Callie Richards. Got to say hi to Callie's dad, John, if he's watching this one. Had a chance to meet him when Bailey was a player. That one showed up on a memory the other day, and it's like you do meet some parents and you just don't know when you're going to see the next round. You just don't know. A lot of things have to line up for you to have that regular date at state, and right now it's working for Regina. They're up 6-1 in the top of the fourth. Richards fouls that one off.
Well, if you're Van Meter, you're just thinking one run at a time, one base runner at a time. Got to start small, work your way up, see if you can start your own rally.
Swing and a miss for Richards. She's down on strikes. The strikeout is number 5 for Ashley Webb. That'll make way for Beth Button. Here to bat in the fourth with 1 out. Button, who's going to head to Indian Hills. Someone who had not played a lot of school ball for a while, a couple of years out. Swings and misses. And says she has loved every second of it on the return.
Well, so much that she's going to continue her career at Indian Hills.
Yep. If she gets a hit, I'm going to let the crowd tell you what her nickname is. The 0-1. Over the right fielder. Keys goes off her glove, chases it down.
Showing a little emotion. Got one to the right side, just off the glove of Keys.
That's one of those tough ones that kind of golf sliced.
Yep.
Started left and went right.
A little spin on it and working away from Keys as she was trying to track that one down.
Big hit for Button. All right, her nickname.
I was gonna ask.
It's Beef.
Beef.
I was waiting. I looked at the crowd. I'm like, somebody's going to yell that, surely.
I did hear somebody up there
Okay.
yell it.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, I did. Because I was waiting for it as well. And I think if it would have been a single, I think you would have heard it more definitively. But since she was rounding the corner going for second, everybody was cheering that.
And that one goes off the catcher, and Button is going to do-si-do on down to third.
And what you're thinking as a hitter is a couple of things. You want to get the ball to the right side of the field to bring that run in, and that's all you're asking right now. So let's get it one run at a time. Let's cut into this lead. If we can get one of those back right here, we've made that opportunity for ourselves. Right side of the field, or put one up in the air to the outfield. Try to get that sacrifice fly.
Haley Corrado, 0 for 2 and a strikeout. Trying to do what Laura Leonard's telling her right now. Move that line along. Get that one run back, and then it's 6-2. Fouls it into the net. It's the Grand Slam is so rare. We've seen a couple this week, but it's so rare. But you just feel more in the game. You know, you say you're down one score. It's not, or one possession like it would be. 4 feels more attainable than 5.
Right.
High pitch, 3-2.
Yeah, there's just more options when you get to that. You gotta, still you have to keep the lineup moving along. You've got to load those bases up. But in your mind, you're thinking, okay, if we can do that, one swing of the bat ties us back up. If you can get to within 4, and that's why they would like to get this run across.
That one is going to land behind second, out of the reach of Clark. Scoring is Button. Throwing to second base, doesn't matter. Corrados is standing at first with an RBI single. Just what the doctor ordered for those cheering for Van Meter. Their second run of the game, it's now 6-2.
Kind of got jammed a little bit, got it off the handle, but was able to take it to the right, just dump it into right field, and get that run across and get them just a little bit closer.
Second coach Kessler was out there. She had convened court. She was in charge. Courtney, absolutely. She kind of had something for everybody on that conference there in the circle for Webb.
You can see that she just has a real good understanding of the game and the feel of the game, and she controls it from behind the plate for her team.
I know Kessler says she wants to be a veterinarian, but I certainly think there's a potential in coaching there for her if she wants.
She can do both.
Yeah. Her mom was her coach for a lot of years. Angela coached Courtney's older brother, coached him in baseball. The 1-1 is swung on and missed by Destiny Sparks. And this group of seniors for Regina kind of asked, Angela, why don't you coach us? You gotta coach us. You gotta. And she answered in her 3rd year.
She said she kind of swore off coaching for a little bit. Okay, I've done that. I've done enough of that. I'm done with it, and then got the call back, and now she's back into the mode. And we saw a little bit of the emotion from Ashley Webb. She thought she might have had the strikeout, might have rung up sparks.
The 2-2 coming. Ground ball right back to Webb. Throws to second, gets the lead runner back over to first, not in time. So the lead runner is erased. Good heads-up play, and if she makes that play right away and not the half a hesitation, they might have gotten the double play.
I think they would have turned it if she would have immediately thought second. And there was just that little hesitation, and I'm sure she heard somebody yelled at her, 2-2-2, and she finally turned and got it to second. But you're right, I think if it would have been an immediate reaction to second base, they would have had a good shot at turning that double play.
Finley Netton scored the game's first run back in the first, trying to get back on base here. She's down in the count. 0-1, now it's quickly back even. They throw down to first. Panther grabs a hold of it on the throw from Kessler. It'll go back to Webb. And we'll get back in the circle and get set. With that multicolored bat. Hits it in the air, high, right in that area between right and second, calling everybody off as Keys. Collects, catches, out. Number 3. Van Meter gets another runner on base, but just can't push it across here in their fourth.
Score, boy! 1, 2, 3, 4, score!
And we're going to have just a little bit of housekeeping going on here as Coach Flaws is talking to home plate umpire Deidre Moore, just to kind of say, I'm going to do this and this. Right now, he's still sending Macy Blumgren out there, Coach Flaws. What are you seeing in Macy here?
Oh, she's doing a great job throwing strikes. I mean, they're just hitting the ball where it's pitched, so that's all we can do right now is throw strikes. They're doing a good job hitting it. We got to field the ball a little cleaner, and that'll help us out on defense.
We were able to hear you on your first trip and your second, and you just kind of told the girls, just one out at a time.
Yep.
And you can't do more than that.
Yeah, we just got to take one pitch at a time. We can't make this game. We can't get 4 runs back right now. We got to focus on just one pitch, one at bat at a time, and keep pushing runners on base and see if we can get a couple hits to fall in for us.
Yeah, I say lastly about your hitting. You've been pressuring. You just got to get that breakthrough, right?
Yep, we're doing a good job. We got to make her come to us and stop swinging at pitches that are up in the zone, so we got to leave those alone.
I appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you
Sounds
so much.
Good. Thanks.
Coach James Flaws, his 12th season coaching, 10th at Van Meter, has won state championship, now in another title game as he heads back to the dugout to call the pitches. And as we've told the coaches, they're like, I'm the one who calls the pitches. I got to get back. We're like, game will be held. You'll be fine. We're not going anywhere. Regina will send Laughlin, Kessler, and Webb. Seems like they just were up last inning. Oh, right, because they were. First pitch swung by Laughlin in the air is over to Lauren Wallace, who catches the fly ball. One pitch, one out. That's one way to get you started.
Well, and if you're Van Meter, that's what you want.
Yep.
As few pitches as possible, get out of that inning, get back to the plate, and get some base runners on.
And facing Kessler with nobody on. Good pitch. We don't take many breaks in our action, so I can't ask you some of the questions off headset. So I guess I'll ask you on this one.
Uh-oh.
How long do you stay with Blumgren?
You know what? I agree with him. I think she's throwing really well. She just had a bad inning the last inning, and now here, 2 outs.
On 3 pitches.
And 3 pitches. And so sometimes you have one of those innings where you just can't get the out and you give up a lot of runs. I think she's hitting spots, and I think she's throwing well, and she's still throwing with a lot of pace.
It's just that part of the fact is it's a ridiculously good hitting team. Ashley Webb bats now.
You knew that they were going to probably score some runs. You didn't know that they were going to score them in a bunch like they did. But you're right. I mean, it's a tough lineup top to bottom. I mean, they've got speed, they've got power, got right-handers, left-handers. it's tough to navigate your way through this Regina lineup.
And Webb now is ahead in the count, 2-0. 2-5-1 for the visiting team, Van Meter. 6-8-2 for the home scoreboard, Iowa City Regina. That one misses.
And you get the first two very quickly. And now kind of got to refocus again. You can't put this runner on.
Blumgren gets another chance here. Kind of even things back up to 3-1. It's fouled off and rolls back here to the screen right in front of us. Webb looks down at Coach Kessler, agrees or acknowledges the sign. Fly ball lifted, playable for Reimers. She collects, 1, 2, 3, goes Regina in their half of the fourth. Much better inning for Van Meter there, Laura. As you said, you know, coach has got to...
You only hit fastball, okay? Leave it up, sit fastball. Okay, sit fastball, be okay, work in the count with a strike, 2 strikes, just sit fastball. Don't put you throw for a strike, okay? You got this right now. Believe you're gonna do it, right? 1 pitch at a time. Dogs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Josh.
All right, let's go with Coach Angela Kessler from Iowa City Regina. Coach, how about that third inning? You make the great defensive play. Let's talk defense first. Did that kind of set the tempo then for your batting?
Oh, anytime you have a great play on defense, that just brings you right back up to bat and makes that energy just flow a little bit quicker and a little bit easier at bat. Gives them the confidence they need, for sure.
What worked in the third inning when you went up to bat, just hit after hit after hit?
Well, we just talked about having R at bats. I mean, that's always key with my team. I mean, I've got, you know, fortunately, I have 7, 8 batters that can all hit the ball really, really well. I've got a ton of girls hitting over 300. And it just makes for an easy at-bat because everybody can do their job at that plate. They just got to focus on having their at-bat. And that's what we talked about. We talked about having our at-bat, doing our job at the plate, and execution.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
She's got a smile on her face now. The team's playing well.
And glitter in her hair.
She didn't really want to.
No,
right.
She didn't.
But she knows how important it is to the team. And to think that it's not important for the pink shirt for the girls, it's extremely important for the coaches as well. Coach, what'd you do with your pink shirt? She kind of looked left to right. She goes, it's hanging in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's not crazy about it, she said.
Everybody does something a little different with their pink shirt. I think Danny Laughlin said she brought it and she was sleeping in it.
Panther, the over-the-shoulder catch on Wallace.
You know, and talk about players with the pink shoelaces and the pink sleeve and just that pink accent with their uniforms. Coach Kessler has her fingernails done and has the pink tips on the fingernails. So you got that going right there with the shoes and the shoelaces, and everybody's got their little nod, tip of the cap to the pink color of the girls' union.
There's the sleeve that you had mentioned earlier. Popped, now drifting into a fly ball into right. Avery Keys collects. And there's 2 away. So we had one lineup change here at the break while all those interviews were going on. Reimers will leave left, and going in her place is Kennedy Weedman.
And now batting for Van Meter is Macy Blumgren. She steps in with 2 outs here in the 5th. First pitch, ball. The 1-0 misses. Two balls and a strike on the foul ball. And that is chopped back to Webb, who steps in front of the circle and makes the play and retires the side. Van Meter, for the first time today, go 1-2-3. It's at an inopportune time for the Bulldogs, who are now down to their final 6 outs. Let's go up to, we'll listen to Coach. Your at bat, I'm sorry, Coach, I stepped on it, but now we're going to stand and stretch. So if you're watching at home, let's do a little stretch and get the blood flow going as Tim Fitzpatrick leads us.
Let me hear ya. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Hey, nice job. Who's out there cheering for Van Meter?
So Van Meter goes 1-2-3, and Regina now bats here in their half of the 5th, up 6-2. So Weidman will stay in left. So Gabby Supel to lead things off for Regina. First pitch hit in the air towards right. Sparks goes towards the line, collects it about a foot off the ground with a great play.
I think that ball started working away from her a little bit because she looked like she had it under control, and all of a sudden kind of had to speed up to catch up to it, and caught it right before it fell in fair territory.
Kennedy Connor now bats, the sophomore. 1 away here in the 5th. First pitch, strike. 1 more game to go following this one. And our triple header coverage. Connor watches that one go by high. Game 1 already in the books. Williamsburg beats Assumption 4-0 to win the 3A. Connor looks at another strike. She's now down a ball and 2 strikes. 1 more game to go. Our 1A game will be North Lynn, number 2 against number 1 Martinsdale St. Mary's. That pitch is fouled into the net right behind our camera on the 3rd base dugout.
Connor usually has good pitch selection, good discipline at the plate, good bat speed, can drive a ball, can generate some power.
One-two is skied into left at Weidman for out number 2.
Come into a ball game and the ball always finds you, it seems like, and Weidman doing a good job of tracking that one and pulling it in.
So 2 outs here in the 5th. And we are getting ready. We'll have a guest joining us here in just a little bit for a conversation. 2 outs in the Regal half of the 5th. Morgan Gann at the plate right now for Iowa City Regina. Gann tonight, single back in the 3rd and a pop-up in the 2nd. Hits that one at short. Finley Netton across to Beth Button for out number 3. And the Regals go 1, 2, 3, which they haven't done since the 1st inning. Actually, they did it in the 4th too. So 1, 4, and 5. That's why the boss had to come in and make sure I was doing something all right. And Gene Berger, executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Unit, is here. Are you here to relieve me of my duties? Is that why I came? Because I made one mistake right there, or what?
No.
I do other things for that.
Did you notice that the sunshine came out when she came in?
I'm aware. That's ordered. Speaking of, I see. So you finally paid your weather bill, and that's why we had AC all week.
Wasn't that nice? I think it's the best ever weather.
Ridiculous.
Has to be. Yes.
I talked to a couple of your staff on about Monday night. They were in coats after 6 o'clock.
Oh, we might be tonight in some pink 3/4 zips.
So great weather.
Yes.
The return of the bunt.
Yes.
And chalk in classes 3, 2, and 1. Which one gets you excited the most?
And a 7-8 championship game.
If you would have told Coach Corcoran that it was going to be the home team as the 7th seed, I don't think he would have believed you.
I don't think so either, but you know, he's won it as a 7 before, so.
He calls it Lucky 7.
I guess.
I was going to say, you know, we've seen a lot of the girls pink shoelaces. We've been talking about that, the pink sleeve. Coach Kessler has her fingernail tips pink.
Yeah.
So the girls are starting to embrace the pink theme. I mean, it's taken a little bit of time, but it's nice to see that everybody's kind of jumped on the bandwagon.
I think this year at softball is the year of the pink sparkle hair.
Oh, man.
They have glitter, or how is that ever going to come out of their hair? But
first pitch, the first pitch to Reimers, who re-enters the game, is a strike. And I asked a couple of the teams, I said, are you in a hotel or the dorm? The dorm. I said, okay, that means the glitter is in your own pillowcase, not on some hotel's sheets.
So what's the biggest surprise of the tournament this year, other than the weather?
Well, I think for me, it's the hits. You know, being a former pitcher, it's not like I enjoy a 33-hit game. But, you know, the hits and also I would tell you I'm very impressed by speed and stealing and how coaches are manufacturing runs. Williamsburg, it was a great example. I think Fort Dodge has always done that. But they get on and they steal, they make you make a play, and before you know it, you toss the ball around and there's 2 runs across the plate.
Yeah, we talked to some of the coaches about the return of the bunt and the small ball, and the answer I received from some of, you know, the pitchers are becoming so dominant. Got to figure out a way to manufacture something, and it's fun. It's fun softball.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I'm watching the Regina Van Meter, and I think it was 6 or 8 straight to left field, right? I mean, it was just, that's how they played all year, Regina, just straight away. So very impressive with how they just kept picking at it.
That one lofted to Supel for the out. But here's the thing, though, Gene. You give the teams extra hitting practice, and they use it to focus in on the bunt?
I guess. So they do have 10 days of hitting before practice starts from January on. And, you know, I'm sure that helps. I'm sure no one's going to say it doesn't help. But I think probably we just have coaches who have, they're teaching hitting. They're teaching it. And now you're starting to see the girls. Certainly I see their fundamentals, and I was so impressed with Centennial and the power they hit. 1 through 9 could hit the ball for Centennial. Very impressed with their offensive show here.
You did hear the stat about that game. There was only one swing and miss.
Oh, yeah. Oh, unbelievable.
By either team.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable. We didn't have a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings until Martinsdale St. Mary's, maybe, in the semis. But, you know, we were late. We were really late. We had a 3-hour game. And so sometimes a 1, 2, 3 inning just mixed with all the hitting is good.
It gives everybody a chance to collect themselves.
Keeps us on time.
All right, so I interrupted Laura earlier.
No,
I just had to ask that. Sorry.
I was going to ask, you know, we play summer softball here. So
Yes.
college coaches, what's the attendance been like for college coaches this summer?
Well, I always say that summer is the perfect time because they're done with their season and they come out and they can watch high school softball every night in the summer. We've had Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa State, Drake, you and I, so many junior colleges and NAI schools. We have a special seating area just for college coaches. So they don't stand behind you and all over so they can see. But I think for the most part, they've wrapped up who they want. But there's some pretty impressive 8th graders playing varsity ball right now.
And they get their eyes on and
Yes.
say, well, this is someone we're going to keep an
Yes.
eye on.
Yes.
Will there be a movement of the girls' season? I know the boys did a survey for baseball. Are you thinking about moving this to a more spring sport in Iowa for softball?
The Girls Athletic Union, with its current executive director, is not considering. They like summer softball very much. But, you know, it's also, in so many of our communities, it's their summer entertainment, right? Can you imagine when I drive here and the lights are on at night? I mean, it's Field of Dreams-ish, you know, but imagine for small towns without summer baseball and softball. So I think it's really big for our schools and communities to have.
You didn't want to make news with us or anything?
No, not that.
But I just had to ask that because that is a debate that's happened, and,
Yes.
and we're about to enter Dead Week.
Yeah.
And families, I know families can get away.
Yes.
That and you're preserving that.
Yes, preserving that and probably considering adding sometime, either at another part of the season. You know, kids need a break. And I know the first thing you're going to say is, well, they're going to go off and do something next week. Well, that's true, but it doesn't have to be in our schools. You know, and we have so many multi-sport athletes. And don't tell me it's a small school, because I would point out Pleasant Valley was in the finals for softball, volleyball, and basketball with the same girls.
Jillian Panther punches it in the left for another double. She's 2 for 3, and the Wartburg signee is having a good game. Let's see this one again.
Just a good solid swing right down the line and gets by Weedman out there in left field, and Panther running around showing a little enthusiasm.
All right, one more newsy-ish question. You're not going to move the season. What about the length of the season? Is that part of that what you're trying to tell me? You're creating another window? Is that what you meant?
No, I just think, you know, 40 right now means you play pretty much every night. And I'd like to have a discussion on how you get better if you don't practice and correct from game to game. So I'd like to have a discussion about that. And for our smart schools where 8th graders may play junior high and then JV and then go to the varsity as a runner, that's a long day. And I just want to make sure that if there's a solution to some of those things, we talk about it.
Very good. All right, Jean Berger, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for your days.
Always glad to have you guys in Fort Dodge.
Thanks, Jean. We love being up here.
Regina looking to extend their lead on a good swing and put into contact Allie Clark, and that is an out. First out of the 6th inning for Regina. Thank you, Jean, for joining us. Always good to hear what she has to say. And I know that a couple of those questions, Laura, are always kind of on the mind, and there's whispers about this and that. And Thought we'd just get it straight out of her. As Keys fouls it away.
You know, and she's made a lot of changes when she's come in as the executive director, and now I think it's at a very good place, very good level. Don't need a whole lot of tweaks to what's going on at the Girls Athletic Union.
Running it first is Natalie Gann for Jillian Panther, and it's another strike to Avery Keys. Avery Keys, who's down 0-2. Swing and a miss by Keys for out number 2. The rare strikeout that we've seen today, only the 3rd for Blumgren.
Yeah, but really good off speed at a time when she needed a strikeout. Pulls the string on it, gets Keys out on that front foot.
That'll make way for Danny Laughlin to bat. With 2 outs here in the 6th. Laughlin launches it towards center, and grabbing it is Katie Vaught. And we go to the 7th, and Van Meter is down to their final 3 outs. Let's hear what we have. Any big words coming?
1, 2, 3. Hey, one at a time. Let's go. One at a time. One baseman at a time.
You know, I half expected that, Laura. You just can't be over dramatic in that situation.
No, you just have to, you know what has to happen, and you just have to go about your business.
All right, let's take a look at how we ended up at 6-2, and it was really all you have to queue up is the 3rd inning. Early on, though, Van Meter was able to take advantage. They pushed a couple across. Netton got on base. Then there was a walk and an error, and that's how Van Meter got their only run. And then there was a little bit of confusion, a pause, a delay, and then there was a pickle, and that led to a run. And then it was 6 hits, and then 7, then 8. Huge inning as Keys, Laughlin, Kessler, Webb, Connor, Gann all scored a run, 6 runs in that 3rd inning. Righted the Regal ship. The old adage, Laura, put the ball in play and good things will happen.
Put it in play, make contact, make the defense make the play, and they did. And Meter did try to come back. Got another run back up on the board. Now they've got a tall task in front of them.
6-2 in the 7th. Due up for Van Meter. It's the 9-hitter, Destiny Sparks, Finley Netton, and Lauren Wallace. So 9-1-2 here in the 7th. Ashley Webb. What a pitch. Holy cow. What a changeup.
And no, these hitters are a little bit anxious, wanting to make contact, so show them a little something different. Show them some off speed.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Sparks, number 6. Or I'm sorry, Sparks goes down, out number 1. Webb, 6 strikeouts, and it's up to Finley Netton with 1 away.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches. Floats it in there on the outside part of the plate, and Sparks could not hold back. Swings right through it.
Approaching the 7 o'clock hour here on July the 21st, 2003. Is there any magic left in Van Meter? Can they mount? They need 4 to keep playing. They're down 6-2, and they're down to their final 2 outs. Netton led off the game with the single and scored the game's first run. Trying to reach base. Looks at a strike. The pitch. Ooh, another good changeup. And that one had movement to boot.
It has been a steady diet of off-speed pitches from Ashley Webb. Now the hitters start thinking that. Watch her bring one with a little heat.
The 1-2. It is, but it's outside. Good pitch. Last time we had back-to-back champions in 2A was BCLUW in 2009 and 10. Last time we had any back-to-back was Collins Maxwell in 18 and 19. An excuse me swing, picked up it short across. Gabby Supple to Jillian Panther. Winterset has also done it now in 22 and 23 with their win last night. And it's going to be up to Lauren Wallace.
Now, good patience by Webb to let that ball go through to Supple, where she was charging, had the better angle on it, the better take, and got the out. They're 1 out away from repeating.
2 outs. The pitch. Great spin on that one. The cowboy hats were pink for Van Meter. They were bedazzled. I think they might do a little retrofitting to them if things go well for them. The 1-0 is high to Wallace. Wallace trying to get on base. She walked back in the first. Just moved the line along. That's a strike from Webb. A minuscule 1.50 ERA entering the tournament. Ashley Webb wanted that chance to win. Foul ball, and Van Meter down to their last strike. The Regals a strike away.
She's looking for that chance to get one of those pink shirts that her teammates have. She would like to have one and join in and match them.
The pitch off the plate. Regal fans making noise to our left. Playing umpire.
Everybody holding their breath on that one, waiting for the call, and it didn't come.
Webb winds and fires. Foul into the net above first. Caught in that netting where balls go to die on that dugout roof. Look at all that glitter in the hair.
Yeah.
It's going to be in all their helmets. It's going to give them a smile, maybe. 3-2, ground ball foul.
Yeah, that's what Courtney Kessler said. She had that glitter in her helmet all season long from last year. It hung around in her helmet, and she said every time she looked at it, made her smile, reminded her of the state championship.
The 3-2, fouled away. And Wallace battling in this at-bat. 8 pitches so far. Number 9 will come. It's a lot of breath holding to get to this point. You might be a little blue. Take a breath. Here's the pitch. High. Wallace earned that walk. Absolutely, and that leads to Maddie Waldorf.
Did her job, and you're right, she did earn that. She worked hard at the plate, able to finally get ball 4 and head down to first, trying to fire up her teammates as she went down to stand on the first base bag.
So your leader in hits and RBIs comes to the plate with 2 outs. Still needs some base runners. This one's not over yet. Webb winds and fires, shows bunt, pulls it back. Ball 1.
Webb looks in. Called strike.
You got those first couple of outs of this inning, and you kind of started thinking that, okay, they're going to lock it down, but they got a little ahead of themselves, and now they're starting to lock in again and take care of business.
Maddie Waldorf looked at strike 2 and had to have a second look, like, okay, you're just making my script a little harder. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 7th. The pitch from Webb. Ground ball, backhanded by Supel. Throws across the diamond to first, not in time. The inning continues. Not much Supel was able to do with that one. Tough spot. Kessler, both coach and player call timeout. Angela is going to make the walkout. That's the coach. We'll listen in, hear what we can.
We're going to walk her to first because the other girl can't hit the broadside of your barn. Okay. You understand what that means?
Yes.
She hasn't touched a pitch that you've put in there. Okay. All right?
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, then you got an easy out anywhere you want to go. Okay, ready? Here we go. Regals on 3. 1, 2, 3, Regals. Let's go.
Let's listen in if we can still, if Coach Flaws is saying anything either on his dugout or his meeting.
Yep, let's go. Dogs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
So Coach Kessler lets them know that they are going to put Blomgren on. Trying to fire up. Everybody's trying to say what's going on, and she's getting the crowd fired up as she takes first base, so that loads them up.
And we are going to have a pinch hitter for Van Meter. Kennedy Weedman, who had entered the game as the fielder, is going to get a chance. She represents the tying run here in the 7th. Webb's pitch. Shows bunt, strike 1.
Yeah, deep breath for Weedman. She's looking for that key clutch hit. Keep this rally going.
The 0-1. Chopper back to Webb. Panther to first. That is a state championship. All that glitters is gold for the Regals. Back to back, 22 and 23 in Class 2A.
Brought to you by Fareway, Regina 6, Van 2.
Well, Van Meter made it interesting down the stretch. Put a little bit of a scare into Regina, but they were able to get that final out, and a good effort by Van Meter. They jumped out on top early, put the pressure on the defending state champs, but the one big inning for the Regals got them the lead. They held on to it and got them back-to-back championships.
That 3rd inning. They can replay that one, both the offense and defensive side of things. And Van Meter, pretty senior lead team, but there's some parts there. Don't count them out ever.
No, they have a good nucleus coming back. They will be able to build on the momentum and the success that this team has had. And might see them back here next year.
Pink shirts handed out. And you know they wanted them at Regina. And Ashley Webb got hers. Look at her. She has been waiting a long time to do this exact thing.
You can hear the crowd yelling back to back. And Ashley Webb putting on that pink shirt. And pitcher and catcher, a huge hug, knowing how much hard work they put into this season.
2023. From Regina, Courtney Kessler.
From Van Meter, Maddie Waldorf. From Central Springs, Abby Pate. From Central Springs, Lainey Bullion. From Central Springs, Lizzie Hammond. From Regina, Gabby Supel. From Van Meter, Beth Button. From Van Meter, Macy Blumgren. From Regina, Danny Laughlin. From Van Meter, Lauren Wallace. And your Class 2A All-Tournament Team Captain for 2023, from Regina, Ashley Webb.
If Ashley Webb thought the pink shirt was cool,
yeah, how
about being the all-tournament team captain?
Medal around her neck and all-tournament captain, and you know, that's not something that she had said when we talked to her the other night. She just was all about that pink shirt winning the title, and her performance over the course of 3 days here at the state tournament from that pitching circle is pretty decent, pretty tremendous, and helped her teammates win a second championship.
It takes a team, all parts, but pitching is a huge portion of this game.
Yeah, it is, and she stepped in and in a difficult situation, and we talked about it, and you just have to get used to your teammates and a new school and different friends and different teachers and all. I mean, it's a big adjustment. And she stepped right in, said that the community was so welcoming when she came in and transferred over that turned out to be a very good situation.
Now for the trophy presentation, in addition to receiving medallions, every participating player will receive a commemorative softball provided by Iowa Farm Bureau, title sponsor of the Girls Athletic Union. Presenting awards are members of IGHSAU Board of Directors, Travis Fleshner, Ron Fodness, and Jim Beamer. Congratulations to the runners-up in Class 2A, head coach James Flaws and the Van Meter Bulldogs on an outstanding 2023 softball season. And now, Regals, would you please complete your bracket? And presenting your 2023 Class 2A State Softball Champions, head coach Angela Kessler and the Regals from Iowa City, Regina.
So the Regals go back-to-back in 22 and 23, an incredible season for them and a great night for us. We have one more game to go. Iowa City Regina takes your title in Class 2A. We have the 1A championship coming up in just a moment. Regina 1, Van Meter 2, so long from Fort Dodge.
Funding provided by Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
The Pella Rolscreen Foundation is a proud supporter of Iowa PBS. Pella Windows and Doors strives to better our communities and build a better tomorrow.
And by Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.